Hey everyone, let's discuss exercise principles for your metabolic reset program. Now, when it comes to exercise, being more active is our goal. For some of you, you're already active. We want you to increase that, but with some changes I'm going to outline here. For others, you may be completely sedentary and you need to get started on something. If you've been doing nothing but sitting on the couch for the last 6 months, you could simply begin by going for a scheduled walk. That's a good place to start. The main point we want to bring forth here is exercise is something that we're going to put into two categories: long duration, low intensity exercise and high intensity interval type training, or HIIT training, it's sometimes called. So we want your long duration, low intensity exercise to make up 80% or most of your exercise that you do in 1 week. So for example, what qualifies as a long duration, low intensity exercise could be taking your dog for a brisk walk, going for a hike, getting on the treadmill or a stationary bike and pedaling pretty easily. Well, how easily? Well, what we would like you to do is to calculate something we call your aerobic threshold. Now, it's a simple calculation. 180 minus your age. Now, it's not hard science, but it can be pretty accurate. So if you're 40 years old, that means 180 minus 40 is 140. So we would want your heart rate during your exercise to be under 140 on average. But don't keep it so low that you're not getting any benefit from the exercise. We want you to be in a range of about 10 to 15 beats below the 140. So an average range of, let's say, 125 to 140 on your heart rate during the exercise would be desirable. We'd like to have that make up pretty much, like we said, 80% of what you do for the week. Each long duration, low intensity exercise session should be at least 30 minutes or longer. If you don't want to track your heart rate, simply go at a pace that allows you to work up a sweat, but at the same time be able to carry on a conversation without losing your breath. Whereas high intensity interval training, if you're going to take a class or do something a little bit more intense, there your heart rate is going to go above the 140 calculation. Well, when you do that, we want you to do that only once or twice per week and never do it for more than 30 minutes. The reasons why we want the long duration, low intensity exercise to be 2 to 3 hours a week as opposed to the 45 minutes to 60 minutes of the high intensity has to do with using ketones over glucose for your fuel. Now, monitoring your heart rate can require a small investment in a kind of a Fitbit or something you can wear on your wrist, or even an Apple Watch. They're all different types. They can be as inexpensive as $15 or whatever an Apple Watch costs. So when you're doing exercise, a great idea is to schedule it. Make it the same every week. That way you're not just relying on your memory to say, oh, I have some time, let me do some exercise. No. If it's Sunday at noon and Tuesday at 6 p.m. or Thursday at 6 p.m., it'll be the same time each week. And I think you'll find that sticking to that kind of a system is easier when it's scheduled at the same time every week.